You know what? It's a big moment for me Saturday. I've been fortunate enough to headline the Cope Arena twice. I've boxed at the Manchester Arena before. I've never headlined it, so this will be another big moment in my career. A great fight that I'm looking forward to on Saturday, next Saturday.
I just wanted to ask you about the move to welterweight. Why now? Why was now the time to take on a new division?
After the Barboza fight, there was several fights offered, Harlem being one of them, and it was proposed at 47. Now, that being said, I can still make 140, but kind of a new opportunity, a new challenge. Um, yeah, so I think I'm looking forward to it being at 47. We don't look past Saturday next week, but I'll be open to taking opportunities at 40 and 47.
Does it feel different? When you're in the gym, you're working towards a bigger size, obviously less of a weight cut coming down the line. How has that felt in the gym in preparation?
You know what? It's been good, and it's quite funny actually because I guess casual fight fans don't understand. They're like, "Oh, you'll be eating up now to get to welterweight." I'm like, don't quite work like that. But as people know, it's never the easiest thing to do, and it's certainly one of the not the most glamorous parts of boxing, making weight. But I felt good these last couple of weeks as the intense sparring's been going on. I feel like I've had a lot of good energy. Uh, I wouldn't say it's not been on the forefront of my mind, but it's not been. I'm not weighing myself like every day religiously. Where it's like everything you touch, you're constantly worried about it. Where uh, that being said, you remain disciplined, and ultimately, it's giving me a lot more energy in training camp.
And you said there was plenty of fights on the table, and Harlem Eubank was the one that stood out to you. Why was this the fight that you wanted to take?
For me, it's British boxing, and the boxing fans love the domestic fights. I'll be quite honest. If it wasn't a Eubank, then it probably wouldn't made much sense. I've only seen him over the last year or so, and that said with no disrespect, but the fact that it's a Eubank, you've got Chris coming off a big win a couple of months back. The Eubank name's quite hot right now, so it was a fight that I knew was going to excite me.
And you talk about the Eubank name, and I wonder, obviously, the other side of that coin is always the Ben name, currently being carried by Conor Benn, who, as you'll know, usually competes in this weight division. Is that one that you've got your eye on down the line?
These are all fights I've got my eye on. Right now, I'm in a position where little over a week away from fighting Harlem, so I'm not going to sit here and start calling out fighters or saying I want to fight this guy. But if it makes sense, then anybody at 40 or 47, I'd love to get it on with.
I wonder, is there extra pressure for this one? Because in the past, you've gone on into some big fights initially as an underdog. I think of the first Josh Taylor fight. You've had a lot of fights that were close in the betting lines. You're a clear favourite this time. Does that add a little bit of extra pressure?
You know what? I don't look at it like that. I'm looking at it like I've got a target on not on my back, on his back. Maybe I'm the challenger. I'm coming off a defeat. I've got to go out there. I've got a point to prove. I've got to remind people what I can do. Um, when it comes to favourites and odds, I wouldn't understand. I know what challenge is in front of me, and that's what I've been preparing for. Preparing well, and I feel good. So just solely focused on beating him up.
You're coming off a loss. Obviously, the first loss to Josh Taylor, I think, maybe felt a little bit different because I think everyone felt you won that fight. This time, obviously, a lot more debate around it. Another close fight. How has it felt coming off the Barboza loss and trying to put that behind you?
Yeah, I think if you speak to any athlete in any discipline, it's frustrating. I feel like I'm a competitive person, so it was so frustrating, especially losing. If I got beat up and knocked out, probably could have accepted it, but I didn't feel like Barboza was outstanding, and he beat me um, in a great fashion. I think he nicked the fight. I think I let myself down. Probably underperformed. I'm not going to make excuses about it. That was said and done. You've got to move on. And I'm grateful now to be headlining back in Manchester and coming to prove a point on Saturday.
I wonder, did you watch Barboza when he fought Teofimo Lopez? And was it a case of maybe watching that and going, I might have done a little bit better than that if it had been yourself?
I watched the fight. I thought Teo boxed very well. I understand that after me and Barboza boxed, it was pretty much straight back in the gym. Obviously, I don't speak to Barboza or Teo, but I thought Teo boxed really well. I watched it, and that was it, really.
And for the Eubank fight, I wonder, is there anything in particular you're hoping to prove? What sort of Jack Catterall can the people of Manchester and the world expect to see in that fight?
Yeah, a dominant performance. I've done it in the gym. I've been doing it in the ring. Not in the last fight, but I expect to go out there and beat him in good fashion. I believe I'm too clever, too quick, too strong, and I think that'll be more than enough come next Saturday.
Talk to me about training, in particular your coach, Jamie Moore. It just feels like there's something special about him and about that gym that you guys have got.
Yeah, the gym's buzzing. I feel like we're in a different wave now. I've been there since probably 2017, where you was talking about Martin Murray, Rocky Fielding, Tommy Coyle, Carl Frampton, the list goes on. A lot of them fighters we mentioned have retired now. We're in a new era where we've got Pat Brown, Dave Allen, Conor Walker, the Hamed brothers, Akib, Alfie, a lot of younger fighters. So the gym's buzzing. It's a great environment. Jamie, Nigel, Assam, they do a top job keeping us in check. And I'm enjoying training. It's a good environment for me to be in. Good like-minded people. And as of recent, we had 2 good wins last weekend with Conor Walker and Pat Brown. A couple of weeks before that, we had Dave Allen, Johnny Fisher. So the gym's buzzing, and long may it continue for the coaches and for the fighters.
Dave was one I wanted to ask you about in particular. Huge win for him over Johnny Fisher and big fights being talked about now for Dave Allen. How far do you think he can go in the heavyweight division?
Dave can go as far as he wants to go. It's refreshing seeing him enjoy training, getting down to Manchester, staying for the week, going back home at weekend to his family. But I can see the dedication of the last couple of fights that he's put in, and that's it. You put the work in, you reap the rewards. He's in a position now where he can change his life, his family's life, and like you said, there's a lot of big names being mentioned. So I'm confident Dave will be back out later this year in a big fight, and I'll be there supporting him.
Now, coming on to your new division, the welterweight division, the one fight a lot of people are talking about is Manny Pacquiao making his return at the age of 46 to fight Mario Barrios. Do you think that the Pac-Man can win another world title in what is essentially middle age?
Yeah, nothing's going to surprise me. He's been a formidable force, a great fighter. He's ran through the weight divisions. I think even over the time where we thought he probably retired, I've seen him on Instagram running and training and shadowboxing. So we'll see. Only time will tell. But I've always been a big fan of the Pac-Man, and I'll be watching the fight.
Jamie Moore actually called down talk of yourself getting in the ring with Manny, but surely as a fan, you do fancy that if he does come through the Barrios test.
Yeah, of course. These are all big fights. These are what we're in boxing for. So I'm in that mind frame now where I know I've got a job to do next Saturday. I'll leave the business to Eddie, to Frank Smith, to Sam Jones, to Jamie Moore, but I'm not going to say no to any of these fights.
And obviously, you're a proud Chorley man. Everyone knows that. But you do most of your fighting in Manchester. You train in Manchester. What's it been like seeing this next generation of fighters come through? You mentioned Pat Brown. Obviously, Will Croller's going to be on the card. There really is a lot of talent in Manchester and the Northwest at the moment. What's it like to see these guys emerge?
You know what? It's absolutely buzzing. You've got Pat Brown, Conor Tudesbury, Alfie Middlemist, Akib Fiaz, all Manchester-based. William Crawler. The list could go on. There's a lot of emerging talent from Manchester, and I think over the next couple of years we're going to have some more, continue to have big nights in Manchester.
Throwing it forward a little bit, but somebody who used to compete in this weight division, who's moving up quite a way later this year, Terence Crawford, as he goes in with Canelo. How do you think he'll get on? It's a huge step up for Terence.
Huge step up, but he's a boxing genius. He's one of the best, one of my favourite fighters of the modern era. So it's such an intriguing matchup. I'll be watching as a fan. and I'm excited. And you know what? From what I've seen over these last couple of days, the press stuff, I'm liking what I'm seeing, and I'm probably listen. I think Canelo's brilliant, but I'm Team Crawford for this one.
So, is that a prediction or just a support? Do you think he
It's
can beat
support
Canelo?
and prediction. It's a bit of both, but I think if anyone can pull it off right now, it's going to be Crawford.
Now, just finally, obviously, that's a dream fight. We've touched on a couple of fights that you would like to have, but I wonder if you were in full control, if you could fight anybody around today, who would you choose? What's Jack Catterall's dream fight?
It's got to be for the world title. So whether that's Teofimo Lopez, I think Puello's fighting Matias, is it next month or so? The dream fight for me is to go out and win a world title.
And whoever that comes against doesn't bother you. It's just go out, get the belt.
100%.